Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Okay, just say something really quick so I can check the volume. Just
Check, check, testing,
okay,
testing,
that looks
check.
pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, could you do a quick introduction for the stream? Just like who you are, where you're from, how long you've been playing, and what your goals are for the game.
Yeah, sure. My tag's Dreg. I've been playing since probably like 2015-ish, but like the past 2 or 3 years maybe, I've taken it like more seriously than I did at first. And I'm from like Mason, Ohio, since Cincinnati.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are we doing today?
So last LRA start, I think it was on Tuesday, right, or something like that. I played Bobby Big Balls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really, really close to taking the first game, and like I feel like I probably should have. I was at one point I was almost up 3 stocks to 1, but then
Mm-hmm.
he just kind of like fucked me up.
Okay.
And it's mostly about like the Falco Ditto and like what spots to do, like what options and whatever, like vague stuff like that.
Okay. So where is the VOD? Oh, here I see. It's in the you have it linked in the document.
Yeah, yeah, it's the
Okay,
first one.
cool. All right, so I will screen share to you, and then I'll turn on the screen. There we go.
Cool.
Okay. So you have some notes here that you wrote. Rather
Yep.
than going over these, I think I'll just sort of give my impressions, and then if it lines up with one of these things, you can just let me know.
Okay, yeah, awesome. That's what I was thinking too, like just to like cross check like what you say versus like what I found or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Turning up just a tiny bit. All right, there we go. Okay.
sure.
All right, let's see how it goes. So you are the white or the neutral Falco?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Not much has happened so far. There's a couple things, but I'll kind of watch for a little bit to see what else I can come up with.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's some ways you could definitely be doing better so far, but like overall, you've been like spacing pretty well,
Okay.
so it makes sense why you're winning. There's definitely some things that I want to bring up in a second. Hmm. Like it definitely seems like you're playing a bit nervous.
Yeah, like that up B I did on accident towards the beginning. That was super nervous.
Okay. Okay, I like that. This is just like this is a small detail, but after this, you should always just go down here. Like you can just backwards short hop off, double jump back air, and you don't have to ever worry about his angle.
Okay.
That's just a very small detail, but like on another stage he might have recovered there, but like after he goes below the stage, just always just either waveland or like waveland off, double jump back air, or short hop off, double jump back air. There, it'll kill every time.
Do you think I could have grabbed ledged and done that same back air, but like done it a little bit deeper to cover the like the lower angle that he did?
Um, yeah, but I think if you do that, then he gets away with this high angle. Like if you do that, then so like if you drop, so basically this covers this angle, but if you went
Okay.
down here, it wouldn't cover this angle. But if you hit him before, like after this forward tilt here, you can like you can wait, and if he drops below the ledge here, you can just. This is a player called Dreg, Tom's. But okay, I'm gonna turn off chat. Okay. So, yeah. But basically, if you can hit him before his up B starts, you should always go for that. And it's like
Okay.
a pretty... it's pretty easy to do. Like, to just react to that and then just... Like, basically, instead of grabbing ledge out of this backward short hop, right here,
Double jump off.
just drop and then double jump rising back air, and it's a guaranteed kill every time.
Okay.
And like Mango does this too. Like it's like just what you should do because it just kills.
Gotcha.
Yeah, your Falco is a little bit wild, but it's interesting because you play kind of like, I don't know, you play kind of conservatively, but like wild somehow. It's kind of interesting.
Just like how it looks, you mean? Like the way I move and stuff?
Yeah, like the way you're moving is like kind of like erratic, but then you're kind of setting up for pretty safe spacings and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think sort of like the antsiness or like the wildness of it, I think could be an issue that we can go into a little bit, but overall it's not too much of a problem, but it is pretty unique from the Falco styles that I've seen.
Okay.
I'm more interested in how you lose this game. Oh, okay.
I don't know why I didn't double jump. I don't think he took.
He definitely
double
didn't
jump.
know. That was just a tech flip. It looked like you aerialed on accident.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Let me see. Yeah, you down aired. I think you tried to double jump down air, and you probably did the down air one frame early or something.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
it could have just been a tech flub. Oh, that was so close. You understand the knockback stacking of like why this happens, right?
Yeah, like Shine hits up and then like the down air. Yeah.
Well, like you needed to hit the down air earlier. Either earlier or a bunch later. Like those were your two options.
Okay.
Yeah, I think actually here you should have definitely waited and done the down air like a lot later after the shine.
Like after I start like falling down a little bit.
Yeah, like right here you can jump up and he's gonna be in shine until like right here, like he'll go like that, and then like you could have definitely double jumped and then done like a fast fall descending down air.
Okay.
Strawberries Rock, thank you so much for this tier 1 sub. Okay, wait, let me see what I missed here. Okay. Okay.
The Shine style, man.
Kind of an interesting match. Okay, I'm gonna... So, my impression from watching this is... So, it's a little tricky, because, like, your Falco plays kind of unconventionally, as I said before. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it makes it a little tricky to analyze in some ways. I think one thing that I did notice keeps coming up is sort of like wasted actions, or like sort of there's situations where you're like you'll get into good positions, but then sometimes situations come up where the position doesn't really make sense to do something in, and you're still kind of going for it. Like,
Okay.
I'll try to find some situations. So basically, maybe like having a bit more of a structured game plan would be a good idea, because like, okay, so let's just go through the situations here. So you hit this laser. I think this part is fine. It's like, I guess it seems like sometimes you're setting up situations, and I think those times are good, and then sometimes it seems like you're not really paying as much attention and you're kind of just doing a mix-up. So like I think this is like an example of right here of you play this position pretty well. I think this is fine. Yeah, so you set up this situation, and then you're kind of like playing it well because you're like, okay, well, he doesn't want to land in front of me, so he's going to double jump, and you get kind of like read his double jump, and you get this up air, and I think, and you don't overcommit to it either, and I think that's good. But
Okay.
then, so we come down here, and I guess this was just a flub or something like that, probably. But then you do this run here, but there's no like intention necessarily behind it. So like if he had just happened to do a shine or like a down air here, you would probably die. And so it's kind of an issue of like risk management in that sense of like you could definitely like basically you can definitely die off of one hit, and so can he. So whenever you interact in a range where somebody can be hitting somebody else in the Falco Ditto, you want to make sure that the situation that you're interacting in is one that you understand.
Okay.
Where like you don't really want to do a lot of like this sort of dash. I think is fine if you're reading him jumping in. Like if you had shined here, I think it would have been okay. But it was more like just like a movement read where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go directly into this interactable range with the other Falco, and I'm just gonna kind of do it, and I think the read might work out, or it's like something might work out in my favor. And sometimes reads like that are okay in Melee, but especially like just the way the Falco Ditto works, because you can sort of die off of anything, and the characters have such similar ranges to each other, like it's basically that whenever you're going to interact, you want it to make sense. So this is like a situation where you land this laser. So this is good because this is like a situation that's understandable. But then I basically there are characters in the game that you want to do laser into approaching laser against. And those are generally the characters that try to move back after they get lasered, because the approaching laser will hit them when they try to move away. But Falco is not really one of those characters, and so he's much more likely to either try to shield and shine out a shield your aerial, which I mean laser does fine against that, but it doesn't cover it doesn't work towards anything else, or he's going to roll, and I guess in that case the laser's okay. But mostly it's like once you land this laser, you kind of have to be more like the game kind of happens in this small space here, whereas like doing this sort of like crazy super forward approaching laser sort of it doesn't like respect the so like because Falco's kind of slow, right? And like
Right.
it's like by doing this approaching laser, it's kind of something that would kind of read him maybe moving all the way back to here or something like that. But most of the time, it's kind of like Peach, where like Falco is going to kind of be protecting like his little bubble. And so you, like instead of this laser, you can do like a slight approaching laser here if you wanted to do a second laser or something like that. Because if he moves back, he's not gonna be able to get that far from you. And if he tries to protect his space here with like an aerial or something like that, or an up tilt, then like this laser, like doing a laser like you did, and then an approaching laser right here, kind of like it respects that the game takes place in this small zone of spacing.
Okay, so like play the space more like intelligently than rather than just like hop in with a laser.
Yeah, sort of like play to the moves that you know Falco has, like rather than just sort of doing a mix-up that works like, in a lot of cases, because like basically it's just super risky and you get hit for it, and then you do this dash attack, but it's at like a percent where dash attack isn't good, like it's too low of a percent for dash attack to work. So that's
Yeah.
now like basically that's 3 interactive situations in a row, which is running through and then doing the crazy approaching laser and then doing this dash attack where if things didn't work out for you, you could have lost a stock at any of those 3 points. And so it's like the risk reward of that is not very high because basically things worked out really well for you because you got a bunch of damage without taking anything really, but like all 3 of those were not situations that you would necessarily like choose to create if you could choose to create a situation. And then
Makes sense.
So this is like this back air here is another thing where it's kind of like, does this have good risk reward? So like this back air makes sense to get him away from you, but then this one is like basically what you're doing is you're hoping that he jumps to try to hit you. And if he doesn't jump here, he basically gets a free forward throw off the edge, which is really dangerous, or he could just dash back, dash in, down air after you're like coming down from the back air and hit you. And so like it's there, and like yes, it can cover this one option, but is it the best option? You know,
I think what I was thinking maybe with that back air, because I know like BBB is like pretty aggressive sometimes, like randomly, and like I just thought he'd probably just run in, which I guess that's why I did it. I don't know. That's probably not a great back air, like you're saying though, because like they don't have to run in.
Right. It's that like you basically want to do moves like you like once you're in the corner you kind of are stuck to like do a mix up, but you want to do moves that will get you out of the corner if they guess wrong. Whereas like if he guesses wrong in this situation, the worst thing that can happen to him is he's tossed back a little bit by the back air and then you're still in the corner.
Okay.
Where like if you had full hopped here or something, it's like if he guesses wrong and he doesn't punish your full hop, then you have now escaped the corner. So it sort of like adds more weight onto your action. Or even like rolling here, it's like, yeah, if you roll and he waits for the roll, he gets like a punish, but if he doesn't, then you get out of the corner like entirely. Whereas the back air, like it's basically if you get lucky you hit him, but even if you get your luckiest option here and he jumps right into it or runs right into it, you're still in exactly as bad of a spot as you were before.
Okay.
So I am trying to think of a way to sort of summarize a bunch of these. Yeah, that was just an accident. I guess it feels like you're kind of trying to hit him a lot without necessarily like a lot of a plan.
Right.
Like this whole section is just kind of like hitty, and it's kind of like, yeah, like if you land these moves, like you kind of get it, but it's not. So, I guess the way I would describe it as like you can trick someone you can win a situation by guessing correctly, by throwing out like this back air or something and then having it like throwing out these moves and having them hit. Like yes, you can win a situation like that, but it's sort of just rolling a dice, and if you don't get the right dice roll, he gets an opening on you, and so it's like basically you're not stacking the odds in your favor. Like basically you want to do your best to stack the deck so that you have a higher probability of being correct. And a lot of times that sort of comes about by establishing an understanding or like a communication with your opponent. Whereas like, and basically in this situation, there isn't like a communication between both of you. It's kind of just you like trying to hit, and it's kind of like by establishing situations better, and like by like, let's say if you had done like a laser here at this range or something instead of like a back air here and stuff like that, you can set up situations that you can use to trick your opponent. Like by there being a mutually understood situation, that leads to you being able to do threats that are mutually understood. Like if you laser the other Falco here and then you dash in, there is a mutually understood threat that you could be short hop daring after the laser, like at a certain timing. And so because of that, if you do like a laser dash in, he has to react. He has to do something to protect himself from that down air that you are threatening. But in a situation like this, there's nothing that you are necessarily setting up to trick him with. It's much more of just kind of trying to intuitively react and hit him. And so if you watch from his perspective, he gets back, he shields, he rolls, he shields again. He tries this down air, but you obviously weren't in the way. He shields again, he rolls again, he shields, and then, oh, he gets an opening. And it's like, I don't know if that's really, like, deserving of an opening, you know, to just shield and then shield and roll again and hold shield. But because you're not setting up any kind of structure to, like, trap him in, it's just sort of you throwing out moves and him kind of shielding them until something goes wrong for you.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like I have that problem in like every matchup versus like all players. Now that you say it like that.
Yeah, what do you mean? Can you repeat?
Just like throwing out options like based off like what I think they're gonna do. Like, oh, like when he side B'd, like in that sequence we just like watched a couple times, like after he side B, he was like, oh shit, I missed like the reaction on that. I can't shine him, so like, oh, he's probably gonna shield. So I just throw out a back air. He does shield, but he rolls, and then like I see the roll, I react to that, and I just jab the roll. I'm not really like thinking like the next level, like what can I force him to do that I'm gonna like try and cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it's good that you're tying that into other experiences you've had.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is okay. This isn't the best pressure, I think. So, doing this... So, obviously, this is a good situation for you, but doing this back air... Like, so, I would say that doing like, a retreating aerial here is still maybe not the best thing, because you're in a situation where you have, like... So basically in shield pressure, right, if he tries to buffer a spot dodge or buffer a roll, double shine beats it. And if he tries to shine you out of shield, double shine beats it. But then, so a lot of times they'll hold shield. If they hold shield and then try to jump out after your double shine to early aerial beats that. And if they wait in shield, then double shine short hop late aerial leads into the same situation a second time with the shine on the shield.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the back air is... I back air here, right? Like
yeah. And so if you're going to do this retreating aerial here, I think it's not that bad. Like, it's not the ideal mix-up that I was just explaining here. But if you're going to do the retreating aerial, you should definitely down air. Because even if this back air somehow hits, it's not going to get you anything.
Right.
Whereas if you jumped away and you did even nair or down air here, then both of those, when they hit, would have a way bigger impact than like the weak hit of back air.
I might have tried the nair, like super retreating, like backflip nair.
Okay.
And sometimes when I try and do that, like I get back air on accident because like I'm already pressing back for the backflip or whatever.
That's fair. Okay, well it's just something to mention. If it was a tech flub, then just ignore it. Yeah, I think you're just kind of doing the thing again where you're just kind of like, I hope my moves hit him. And it's kind of like, okay, so here's like a situation of kind of like, so both of these times now, you've kind of gotten caught in this pace where it's kind of like, you're trying to hit and then it doesn't work out and then maybe he does something and then you go for it, like, it's kind of like you go, then he goes, then you go, then he goes, you know? And you want to set up situations where if you don't go, then he goes, and then you get, like, an opening. So, for example, okay, I think that nair was fine. That nair works a lot. Okay, so you do this. Okay, so now you're in this situation. I'm gonna slow it down. Okay, so you throw out this nair, doesn't work. What you should be trying to do here is establish some kind of order. So you get this laser, this establishes order. What options does this Falco have from here? Is basically the only options he has, to be honest, are he can wait and hope for a shine out of shield, which usually isn't that good. He can instantly back air out of shield, assuming you're going to approach, or he can roll away. If he rolls away, you can just react to it with another laser, and you'll still be in a pretty good spot. So mostly what you have to worry about here is him either remaining in shield and shining out of shield, or instant short hop out of shield back airing on your approach. But like it's like if you just do this aerial here, it doesn't really work against anything he does. Because it's like if he did this instant back air here, he would most likely either trade with you and he would have a strong bear versus your weak nair. Like, this is a weak nair. Or he would just beat it. Like, and if he waits for the shine out of shield, it doesn't matter. Like, you hit him here, he knows he's out of the way. He can just roll away. Like, this situation doesn't set up for anything. And also, if you waited for him, like, you could open up so many options. Like, I just don't see, like, you baiting, basically. Like, like, if you hit this laser, some people have the opposite problem, where they just laser and they just wait and they do nothing. Mega Christmas, I did a lesson with him a while ago, and he kind of has that problem. But yours is kind of the opposite, where, like, sometimes you kind of just need to wait to see what the opponent is doing. And, like, so you land this pressure, but then you don't use it for a bait. Like, if you landed this pressure and you get out of the way of this back air, you should be ready for this back air because it was one of his only options out of shield, and you can punish it. But it's like it doesn't create a punish, and you just sort of go back to your neutral spot. And then it's like, so setting up the situation doesn't actually get you anything. And now you're kind of back in this situation where it's just sort of like a scramble, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, you hit that, you kill him. This is definitely a little tricky to analyze, but look, so here's the laser again, and like, there's basically just no recognition of, like, what the other Falco's options are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're lasering him, but in your, like, there's no sort of thoughts of, like, what is this Falco going to do after the laser? And, like, what options, like what does this beat? You know? Like...
Yeah.
I'm asking, like, what does this actually beat after this laser?
Oh, laser nair doesn't combo, like, on a grounded, like, CCing. I don't know, because, like, people say laser nair combos, but I don't feel like it does a lot.
Well, laser nair combos if you're right next to someone.
Right next, okay.
And
too far away for that.
But you're, like, really far away, and so it's like, basically, this won't beat anything he does. And so if you land this, a lot of times the best option here is to try to get a closer laser. Like, because the laser hit, he didn't shield it or anything. You can do another laser, like, right here. And then try to sneak into the range where, like, you can actually combo, like, laser dare or laser nair or whatever. So, like, I just need to see some kind of recognition that, like, the enemy Falco could up tilt. They could dash back. They could down air instantly right here. Like, all of those things beat this, and it just doesn't seem like you're looking to counter any options he does. And so, like, there needs to be more awareness of what the enemy Falco is thinking about maybe doing. Like, he just did this up tilt, and a lot of times when somebody up tilts, they're kind of in the mode where they're kind of thinking about up tilting. And so you should at least be aware of the possibility of an up tilt. So, like, the laser here doesn't automatically win neutral. Like, in fact, like, you're not actually all that positive on it. Like, let's see. So you hit him. You are a little bit positive. You end up right here. But, like, this isn't that great because of all this distance. So it's kind of like, when you land a laser and you're at this distance, you have to keep playing neutral. You have to recognize, okay, he might try to up tilt me. So what if I do dash in, dash back, dash in aerial? You know?
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the wildness I was talking about, where like you don't really want to be doing options that don't, like, okay, that was a really bad downer. You don't really want to be doing options like this. Like, this is a situation where it's like, what is the situation here? There isn't really a situation that's like happening. He's just kind of around, and you're like, I'm gonna try to hit him, you know? And
Yeah.
so the thing is you can guess right. You could just be right and it'll work. But you can't, there's no way to increase your odds of being correct here. Because there's no communication with your opponent. Okay. So you go here, you go for the laser nair again, which is kind of like, I'm pretty sure he could just shield this. But you're close enough that it kind of works out for you, but it's kind of the same situation as before, except this time it seemingly worked. So it's just kind of be aware of the same things that I was talking about before. Here's that back air. We already talked about that. Okay, so he comes back. You're ahead. You're wave dashing, which is fine. It just looks funny in slow-mo. Okay, so this is good. So look, this is good, but when you see this, what situations are good from this? Like, you guess correctly, you get to platform, he goes underneath you. And so your goal from this point should always be, you want to set up a good position for yourself. So your examples of good positions from here are, you can jump off this way, like you can wave dash out, short hop, laser back. You can wait for a second and shield, hoping he might do like an up tilt, and then you can drop down air on him or something like that. But the one thing you don't want to do is put yourself right back in the corner.
Okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Because you want to be looking for a better situation. So this is good. You avoid him pressuring you in the corner, but it's kind of like that back air you did before, where you did the back air and you were still in the corner. Like, in this case, you guessed right, so now you have a chance to put him in the corner. Doing this doesn't lead to anything good. It only makes the situation worse. And then here,
Okay.
You're trying to fight him here, but what you should really be doing is looking for a way out. Like, if you jump up and he's shielding here, why not just jump away, you know? Like,
Get back to center
get
stage
out
or
of the
whatever.
corner, take the position, set up a position you like, and then win that position.
Okay.
And I think this is why I had in my I played 3 sets against Bobby, and I won all of them in the Falco Ditto. And I think a big part of the reason is not that like my Falco is super good or clean or anything like that, but that I play very religiously to only the positions that I want to play. And if I don't like a situation, I will just deliberately not interact. Like, I will move out of the way, I will leave. Because there's a lot of situations, you know, like if Falco's lasering onto the platform, you just go up to the platform, then he can't really do anything to you for a short period of time. So it's like, if you don't like a situation, feel free to just disengage. Then wait and look for situations where you feel like you want to engage, and engage there. Don't just engage because he's in range of a move, potentially.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so that was a really good laser. I would have liked to see a down air there, just because that would have comboed a lot better. Because you can guarantee that he's on the ground after the laser, so you don't have to worry about hitting him into the ground. And he's at a high enough percent where even if he somehow CC'd, you would still combo out of it. So I think the down air as an opener there would be really good. Okay, so you get this. Okay, this makes no sense.
The wave dash?
Yeah, so you hit him like this. This is like a perfect opportunity to short hop laser into the corner. But you go for the wave dash. So this is okay. I think this right here, doing this and then immediately going for the down air here is okay. But you once again have to consider his options, where if you, like, basically you want to give your opponent chances to be bad. And if you immediately make a choice after you, like, let's say you get a good position, you're in the corner, you landed a laser, he's shielding. If you immediately commit to an option, you're not giving your opponent chances to get scared and be stupid.
Right.
So, like, let's say you landed this laser, he shields, and you go for the down air, and he just rolls. You, like, it might have not seemed like a big deal to go for the down air, but now you are literally in pressure in the corner by your own doing, by committing into the corner, and him happening to roll. And the roll here is the panic option. Like, the roll here is, here he comes, and then they just roll. And so, by, like, let's say you laser him once in the corner, like you did, right here. So you get this laser right here. What if you just do another laser here? He doesn't really have any, like, if you do a laser here, he doesn't really have any options that will get him out of the corner reliably. And if he does do the stupid roll out of the corner, you will be waiting and you can beat it.
With like a shine or whatever? With
a shine or an up tilt or a down air or anything. And so, like, it's not only about establishing good positions and interacting in good positions, but once you have a good position, sort of, using that to kind of bait your opponent into doing something that they don't want to do. But by going for this down air here, you're kind of doing the same thing like before, where you were just throwing out moves, kind of. It's kind of the same thing where you get a good position and then you take it right away. It's like, somebody goes into a casino and they win a hand and they win like $1, and then they just walk out and they go, today was like a great day, and it's kind of like, like maybe try to,
stay at the slots for a little bit.
Like try to finesse like a little bit more out of your advantages,
Yeah.
Because once you have the advantaged position, basically, like, the goal is step 1, you get into an advantaged position. You don't really want to interact until you're in a good spot. But then once you're in a good spot, like, it's like by just instantly taking it, once you're in the good spot, you're giving away the potential for, like, abusing that good spot more.
Okay.
Because it's like you're committing to that situation. But, like, think about how you feel when you're cornered and your opponent has you in the corner. You feel pressured even if your opponent isn't committing. And so you feel like this need to escape. It's kind of like what I was saying before, where you do that, like, short hop back air in the corner. And it's like, well, why'd you do that in the corner? And it's because you're like, well, I'm in the corner and I'm afraid that he's going to come in. And so when your opponent is in the corner, you can abuse that by doing like laser dash dance or just kind of dash dancing here. And your goal is, like, if you commit to an option in an advantageous situation, yes, you have good odds. But if you use the advantageous situation to sort of bait your opponent, you give them chances to give you the win for free without you even having to gamble. Because you always have to gamble, and it's better to gamble in a good spot. But if you can get in a good spot and then basically, get your opponent to fold in, like, poker terms or something, then, like, you don't even have to beat his hand if he folds. So once you get a good position and your opponent feels the pressure, you can sort of try to use that to get him to, roll out of the corner or throw out an aerial in the corner or do something, and then you just whiff punish, and you don't even have to engage in the correct guessing game.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I'm just thinking of, like, all the times I'm shielding in the corner or something versus people, and, like, it's so scary because, like, you're just in your shield and, like, they can just do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I find myself just, like, waiting, like, tense, just waiting for, like, whatever they try and do. Like, I've never thought about that in terms of, like, other people are also feeling that when they're shielding in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so what is going on here? Okay, you missed this. I've missed that a million times. So there's not really a reason to laser here. Like, this is kind of like another thing where you're like, I want to interact, so I'm gonna shoot this laser. But if he just runs and down airs you, you could lose a stock, and the laser is never really going to get you anything here. Because like if you land this laser on him, he is just going to double jump away before you're ever able to combo the laser. And especially because you're lasering in a way where like you're gonna drop off the platform here. Like you would be landing on the ground. And it's like, is that like a favorable situation where you're gonna be? Where it's like, oh well, if I guess right, I land a laser. And if I guess wrong, I lose my stock. And it's kind of like, that's a situation where, yes, he is kind of close to you, so it feels like, oh, it's an interactable range, but you really want to get back to the ground, or, you know, maybe jump above him if you really feel like it, but I would recommend going down to the ground, where, like, you can set up situations, like, you know, there's no pressure to fight, like, you're ahead, you know, there's no pressure to fight him wherever he is. Like, you can basically engage in a fight wherever you want. So if you have a chance to basically fight anywhere on the stage, like if you stand in here in center stage right here, and you're ahead, the only way he can possibly catch up is by entering this area around you to hit you. So you get to dictate where you want to fight, and you chose to fight in this spot where you can have a laser out, or you can get back aired. And it just doesn't have good, you know, risk reward. You want to choose to fight in situations where you have good risk reward, where you have a chance of killing him, and, you know, he maybe doesn't have a good shot of killing you.
Okay. Ledge hop fair, is that pretty good for the most part? To get off the ledge?
Where is it? Right here?
Yeah.
It's not very good.
Okay.
It'll, like, work out for you every now and then.
Yeah.
But if you had just ledge dashed here, you get a free shine.
Right.
Or, like, not even a free shine. Like, let's say you just ledge dash up tilted here, or even just ledge dashed and then wait to see what he does. Like, if you had ledge dash right here, you would be here and he'd be jumping, and then you might even be able to get a shine or an up tilt, or if you don't, then you're safe anyway. And if you do this, like, this just kind of hit randomly. It's not an option you should, like, rely on.
Okay, noted. Because I do it a lot.
Okay, basically, if your opponent is close enough to punish your double laser from edge, you ledge dash. If they're not, double laser. That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
And then, when you're feeling cheeky, you side B them. Side B is good as a mix-up there, but if you have really clean ledge dashes, most of the time, it's... Like, basically, I just ledge dash all the time, and then eventually people will give you space, and then once they give you space for free, just double laser.
Makes sense.
But ledge hop aerials and stuff like that are kind of gimmicky, and they're pretty much not going to work at, like, higher level. Oh, that's rough.
Just could have held ledge.
It's happened to me so many times. Okay, so that was good. I think that nair was fine. That made no sense. Okay. Gonna skip that. Oh, you did the ledge hop fair again. Yeah, I would not. Like, if you had, like, ledge dashed right here, that's 100 times better. You'd be invincible right on top of him. You have a shine. He has to, like, defend himself somehow, but instead he just happens to get hit by this. He could have just pretty easily hit you out of it.
Okay.
And okay, so here's a situation where you don't necessarily, like, this is okay, I guess. I think if you're gonna do this, I'm not super super against it, but you can just double jump and side B edge cancel right here.
Yeah.
And so I think there were better escapes, but it's a pretty bad situation overall, so it's not too big of a deal. Okay, so you get this while you're invincible. That's totally good.
I thought that read was like the silliest shit when I got it.
Uh,
when,
what it like
when it just
this?
lasered him and back aired him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you're invincible, I always just say when you're invincible, you get 1 to 2 reads, and you did your 2 reads and it worked, and that's just how it is.
Word.
Like if you hit somebody while they're invincible, then good for you. There's nothing really you can do better than that. Okay, I'll just ignore that. You get hit by the. Well, how do you get hit by the shine here in the first place? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's a very acceptable shine to get hit by. He just won the mix-up battle.
So it wasn't a bad laser?
No, I don't think so. I think it was because he basically was risking his whole stock on the fact that you were going to laser there.
Okay.
Because it's the thing is so I think the one negative thing about it is that so it is a bad laser because he's invincible.
Yeah.
That makes it a bad laser.
True.
So I think that was the only really bad part about it. Okay. Oh, really? So you basically won this situation. You literally lost it by 1 frame.
That sucks.
Whereas if the laser came out 1 frame later, this is an easy shine.
Shit.
So this was just you slightly missing your tech skill, and that comes back to bite you. Okay, so you got this, you slightly mess up that combo. There's no reason to go for this. This is just purely like rage at like my combo missed, but what if it kept going, you know? What if we forgot about all that and the combo just kept going and I won the set, you know? And it's kind of like, no, like your combo ended, you have to acknowledge that and play actual neutral.
So maybe do something smarter off side platform instead of just jump at him.
Well, like the thing is remember, like you want to only set up situations that are good. It's like think about like what he's doing here, okay? So he gets out of this combo. Mm-hmm. He gets out of the combo. Your only option here to threaten him is to double jump aerial. So of course he's going to shield. But then that's the thing is he shields, you don't do the double jump aerial, you go down to the ground and you continue looking for a good situation. Like there's no reason to risk yourself in a situation where he has one option, which is shield, and it beats your option.
Yeah. I kind of just gave him to that then.
So yeah, so you give him that opening. Then you get this, which is really good. I think that was great. Okay, forward smash there. You go for this. I approve of going for that back air there. I think that's fine. Because you have to read that he's going to side B here, and that made total sense to me that you would do that. I think you probably could have done another back air here. Because of the range he's at, he actually doesn't really have any options. Like,
do you think
maybe he can go to ledge here, actually. I don't know.
Do you think I could maybe do a ledge hop reverse laser, double laser?
Yeah,
like
no,
you low one?
You could, but last stock in this situation, I would personally be terrified of not getting the laser out early enough and getting hit by the side B and dying. So that's why I said I'm fine with this back air. But then doing this forward tilt is like, this is for when he's here and he goes down to ledge. But at this angle, if he somehow gets to ledge from here, there's no way the forward tilt will actually hit low enough to hit him. And he's not going to go straight because he doesn't want to get battlefielded. So he's almost definitely going to go up, so you can cover that right here with like a back air or something. But you get the option coverage anyway. This is something small because it's very difficult to do this in tournament, but your options here are either up tilt or run off shine or JC shine, where if you up tilt here, most of the time he's going to DI away, like this way, and you'll end up with some sort of top platform tech chase. But if you run off here and shine and he DIs for the up tilt, then he will pop up right here, and you have a better potential for like a combo. Whereas if you do the back air, this just gets him out of the combo every time.
Okay. because he was obviously just holding slide off.
Mm-hmm. So here's this is this was awful. Right here, you have to understand that he is probably thinking up tilt or short hop back air right here. So by going for this is just asking to lose. Somehow you get away with it.
Yeah. That full hop back air right there, was that good? Like the really super late one?
This?
Yeah.
Not really. Okay. It's not awful, but I would have preferred you do this and then land with like a laser, but it's okay. I think it's fine. It's like not a big deal. So you get out of the way of this, but the thing is you kind of like lose your game plan here of lasering, and you just sort of are like, hit, gotta hit, Falco, hit. Oh, you got that laser. That was good. Okay, forward tilt.
Bad in air.
Yeah, bad in air. Got kind of desperate. Oh, and then he catches you out of that. Okay, so sort of what we have from that game is kind of, there are a lot of situations where it's possible to maybe hit your opponent, but you probably shouldn't really be going for it. Like, it's okay to wait for an interaction that you like. You don't need to feel pressured to fight in situations where it doesn't feel that good. And that's true when you're in the corner or when you drop a combo and he's in a weird spot, etc. And then the other thing is, when you end up in a good position, you don't need to immediately push the good position. You can abuse the good position to try to pressure your opponent into doing something dumb.
Right.
Okay, so he gets this wave dash under shine. This is just like a Bobby thing where Bobby always kind of does this, and it's just kind of, the thing is if he does this at 0 and you early down air him with like a wall down air, he actually is frame positive. So just at 0%, really look out for the wave dash and shine.
Okay.
If he's higher than 0, then like when you down air him, like if you do a walling down air here or something like that, then you'll still end up able to combo, but at 0 you won't be able to. So I think that's why he feels very confident going for the shine. Like at literally 0%, Falco's shine is like pretty much his only good neutral opening.
Right.
Okay, what happens here? So this is kind of the same situation again, where like you land this laser, you get him in this really scary spot in the corner, but you're not willing to see what comes out of it. Like, you're not trying to bait, you just instantly commit, and it's kind of like, well, now things didn't work out exactly how you wanted, you know, and it's kind of like you didn't have any chance to get anything good out of it. And then, so here's a situation where you go for you're just trying to hit him. This is literally just give me the hit. And he's playing to the game plan of up tilting, because this won't lead into a combo. He's at 15%. And so look, it trades. You both get the move you wanted, but his move makes more sense given the situation.
Right. And that grab on the Tekken was crazy that he did. He reacted right here, I think.
Yeah,
that one.
It was okay. Okay, yeah, there's the ledge hop fair again. Yep. Definitely just ledge dash there.
Twice in a row.
Okay, so look, here's the situation. This is basically the same thing I was talking about, where look, you get him into the corner, then you kind of dash in. So he's not reacting to your jump here, he's reacting purely to your dash in. So you get him into the corner. So look, he sees... Oh, I'm just going to slow it down. He sees you dashing in, and he immediately just panics and rolls out of the corner. But you're not ready for it. You're just like, you're in pressure, and I'm going to come hit you, and like, just stay right there, buddy. Like, here I come, you know? And it's kind of like, he's not going to stay right there. He wants to get out of your way. And so you have to respect the fact that he doesn't want to get hit by your moves.
Yeah.
Like, he is going... Huh?
The dash in thing you were talking about, like just now, I've actually been thinking about that like the past couple of days, like how you can. I've never thought about this before. You can just like bait people with dash in. I've never thought about that.
Because they're gonna be reacting to your dash frames, thinking that here he comes. So like what you want is you want to be like, because if you just laser someone and then they're like, here he comes, and then here you come, then like any option they have that beats here he comes is gonna work. But imagine if you laser them and then you go, here I come, and then they go, I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, and then they go, okay, I'll do my defensive option, and you hit them. And then again, you get them in the corner, you laser them, and then you go, here I come again, and they go, oh, well, he didn't come in again, he didn't come in last time, but I'm still scared. So they roll out and you hit them. And then the third time you go, here I come, and they go, I'm not falling for it this time. And you go, you're clever. But here I come this time. And they go, I got him now. And they roll, and you go, that was a bait too. And you hit him.
Okay.
And then the next time you laser him, and you go, here I come. And he goes, this time I'm not falling for it. And then you just hit him.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, like, the communication is super key. And I think that is the biggest, like, macro thing that you can be focusing on, is communicating to your opponent, this is what I'm about to do, and
Just
then
kidding.
not doing it, and seeing what your opponent does and punishing off of that. Because it basically doesn't happen a single time so far in this set. That you, like, create a situation, communicate your intentions, and then deviate off those intentions.
Right.
And here, you're just trying to hit him. You're just like,
Yep.
I gotta hit him. It's like, if you see this situation, you can set up a laser. You can set up an advantage situation here from which you can actually draw actual mix-ups rather than just kind of swinging.
Yeah.
So I think like the focus on the situations and baiting and communicating and stuff like that will help a lot. Because like your general intuitive sense of spacing of like where your moves can go and stuff like that, I think is fine. And it doesn't seem like it's too much of a problem. It's like the majority of the problem seems to be, let's see, so you get hit out of this. The majority of the problem seems to be like basically either going for moves that don't have good risk reward, like playing in bad situations, or even creating bad situations, like going for a back air when he's at like 10% or something. It's like you want moves where if you guess correctly, you destroy them. That's what you want.
Okay.
So if a correct guess does not destroy your opponent, you probably don't want to even interact. You only really want to interact in situations where you can win the game. Like,
Right.
What you don't want is a situation where if you guess right, you do some damage, and if you guess wrong, you lose.
Yeah, that's...
You want to
that
avoid
sounds
those
awful.
basically at all costs. And a lot of times, the control in this matchup... So, look, you get the laser. I guarantee you, I have not seen this before. I am 500% sure you instantly nair in. Because that's what you do every time.
Yeah.
And so you land, you get this laser. I knew it. So you get this laser. And then what you should be doing is play to the range, try to get him scared, see what he does here,
Dash dance laser again.
Dash dance laser again, dash dance aerial in place, dash dance then do the nair maybe,
Mm-hmm.
But because, so basically you're just being too honest with him because you're like, here comes the laser, and even at this point he knows the nair is coming because you shoot him with the laser and you go, here I come, and he goes, roger that, and he rolls away. And you miss because you told the truth for the 5th time.
I'm too honest.
You're too honest with him. Okay, so look,
dash
so
dance.
that was good. No, that was good. I think obviously the nair was early. Like you did you should have done like the fastball nair there. But nothing negative came from doing this nair. And I think it's fine to go for this as long as you do the later nair. Because the thing is, like, the early nair is to beat him jumping immediately. But if you thought he was gonna jump immediately, you could just shoot another laser and see. That's the
Right.
kind of nice thing about laser pressure. This is like gives kind of Falco like a better spot than most characters in the game. Is like if you're in a good spot, but you're not sure if they're gonna throw something out, you can just shoot another laser and kind of see. And if you're wrong, nothing bad happens. And if you're right, you gain information, and a lot of times you can set up an advantageous position.
Okay.
And so, like, if you're gonna do this nair here, you really want to do, like, the late fast fall nair. And if you feel pressured to do this early nair, like, if you do this and you think for sure he's just about to jump out, you can just shoot another laser, and you'll catch him out of the air as he's jumping, and then you get a free nair after the laser anyway.
Okay. A quick question, like,
Yeah.
for similar situations like this, like, that kind of mix up short hop range. What, like, so if I'm, like, pressuring with laser on a shield or whatever, and, like, what's a good, like, so I'll shoot a low laser usually as my default, like, for my first laser, but, like, what's a good, like, next level read? Like, for the second laser, if I shoot 2 in place or whatever, what's, like, a good height to shoot instead of a low laser? Or should I just shoot always a low laser?
I don't think it matters all that much. If you think he's going to jump here, then the high laser is obviously fine. And he doesn't really have any situations here to deal with your low laser. Like, he can't really jump over it, like, in place like this, because he would have to jump in. You can kind of just play around with it and use it as a mix-up. I don't think there's necessarily, like, a directly correct answer, like, especially, like, when he's already shielding. Like, I would just kind of shoot a... I think probably a high laser is probably the best here, just because he can't crouch out of this or anything. So, like, there's not really anything he can do that, like, beats the high laser. But I would be worried that if he somehow, like, wave dashes out of shield or something, that maybe it would go over the high laser.
Which he does do. Like,
Yeah, I would just kind of shoot, like, the normal laser here, just to protect from the wave dash in, to be honest.
Okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, if, like, you're intimidated by him jumping immediately, just feel free. Like, I don't think there was a single time during this set where you landed a laser in a good position and then just shot a second laser from the same position.
Yeah.
And so I think that's definitely something that you want to do a lot more. Like, it's okay to just give your opponent... It's okay to lie to your opponent. It's okay to say you're coming in when you're not. And it's also okay to give your opponent a chance to be bad at the game. Okay, let me speed this up for now. Looks so fast when you speed it up again.
I know.
Okay, yeah, but there's, like... The back air right there is okay, because he's at, like, such a high percent and you're at such a low percent. But once again, you're just fighting out of the situation that he gives you here. You're not setting up a situation.
Yeah,
and, like, you're just kind of running in. Okay, I mean, you got
Desperate
lucky there,
CC,
but
yeah.
that was just... That's not good. Okay.
Single laser.
Yeah, it's fine. It worked. Yeah, there's the bad fair, but somehow he just keeps letting you do it. Oh! There, you did it! Look!
I waited.
You waited, and look, he goes, don't hurt me, please! And he up smashes, and you're like, alright, thanks, man. And you just kill him, or theoretically kill him, you know? And it's kind of like, oh, but see, you gotta watch out here, because you kind of got too into it yourself right here, and then you let him get out of the corner, and now you're in the corner. And that is now a situation that is bad for you. Like, it can flip really quickly, where you're just like, bro, like, he up smashed, like, yeah, get out, Bobby. Get out, yeah, I'm the best, yeah. And then you're like, wait a minute, now I'm losing. And it's like, no, you gotta be really careful. You gotta keep winning, you know? And you gotta, don't give that spot up. And now look, you're just throwing out moves. There's no lasers.
Yeah, that recovery he did, the no fast fall, like drift to ledge, he got me with that game 1 too. And like that's one thing I'm gonna start looking at.
It's not that bad of a mix up. Like it's pretty hard to cover everything perfectly every time. And yeah, like here's like you come back and you're like, okay, I'm doing my stuff. Okay, and then you're just kind of like I think this was 3 aerials in a row or something like that. Let's see. So you have 1, 2, 3, and it's like, oh, like I wonder like what he thought you were gonna do. You know, it's like of course he's gonna shield because you just threw out 2 aerials in a row, but it's like there's no reason why you can't just laser here. You know, and establish like so much of this matchup is like whoever gets their laser out first. And if you're just gonna throw out aerials, like it's basically like this was laserless Falco. Like, you're just playing laserless Falco right here. And it's like, okay, so you get hit out of that, and it's like, that's not a surprise.
Yeah. And here I paused on accident because I was trying to DI, so I just ran off.
Oh, I see.
Sucks.
Okay, that is about an hour, I think. Yeah. Okay. It's a little over an hour, which is fine. But yeah, so do you have any other questions? What do you think about like what we went over and stuff like that?
I think like obviously thinking about like what I'm trying to bait with like my moves instead of just trying to hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And like dashing and baiting, like I've been thinking about that too, but like I'm gonna think about it more especially since you mentioned it. Just like dashing in, seeing what they do about the dash in, and like going from there, like experimenting with doing stuff like that. Yeah, and like what did you think? Did you think like I dropped any like crucial punishes or anything like that? Or was that pretty okay?
It was more about there were situations where you could have gotten an opening that could have led to a crucial punish that you were dropping, like you have an opportunity to get laser control on the enemy, but instead of doing that, you throw out a back air hoping that you get some damage from the back air, you know? So it was less about you dropping the critical punishes and more about you not playing in a way that can get you the punishes that you need.
Okay.
So I think like prioritizing laser a little bit, like when you kind of panic, don't kind of panic and just start throwing out moves. Like really focus on using laser to set up situations that you want to play in, then patiently baiting and stuff out of those situations and not just like immediately attacking in. So basically like just be more cognizant of like which moves you are using and like making sure that those moves are combo starting moves as often as possible. Obviously sometimes you just need to back air them and get them away from you, but most of the time you want to be looking for situations in which you can get a really strong opening off of it. And if you're in a situation where you can't really get a good opening, you don't really want to engage. So it's like that plus lasering more to set up those situations. Like if you land a laser, don't be afraid to shoot another laser and see what they do. Don't be afraid to just dash dance and see what they do. Like try to... And the thing is like, let's say you laser and then you try to laser again and they just full hop out and they get away. That's fine because there is no harm done to you.
You still got the ground and everything?
Like everything is still fine. And so, like, sort of be okay with things getting away from you, like, as long as you continue playing solid and looking for these openings, it just basically stacks the odds a lot better in your favor because you're not going for things that have bad risk-reward. You're only playing in situations where you have good risk-reward in the sense that, like, if you land a hit in these situations, you can get a super big combo and kill. And if you're in a situation where you're not going to get that, it's fine to just full hop away and reset because then, like, you know, the odds continue to get further and further in your favor by playing like that.
Yeah.
So I think that is the best advice I can give for right now. I think if you focus on those things and just sort of focus on, like, kind of holding yourself back a little bit, like not forever, but just temporarily while you're learning this, like try to be a little bit more observant and like kind of wait for the situations you want rather than just sort of going for it. And I think if you are able to implement this, you should be able to kind of get over that like hump of kind of being at that level, and it should open up other things in a way where it's like once you're only playing to your good situations, then, you know, you can look at a VOD and say, okay, I was only playing to the situations that I wanted. How did I still lose? And it's a lot easier to analyze that and move forward once you're only playing to those understandable good situations.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you have any last questions, then let me know. But otherwise, like, if you come up with something or you're still confused, like later or whatever, feel free to hit me up and I can answer any additional questions.
Oh yeah, okay. I appreciate that. That sounds really good. Okay.
So yeah, don't feel the pressure right now. It's totally okay to ask me later if you try something or you have a clip and you're like, why didn't this work? Like, feel free to hit me up with those.
Yeah, okay. I'll probably just do that because I don't really have a good any good questions right now.
Okay, yeah, sounds good then.
Yeah.
All right, it was nice talking. So have a
Yeah,
good day.
appreciate it. You too. See
All
ya,
right,
man.
bye.